Hello, Clement229 here, and I want to talk about the Alita Battle Angel movie. Now, first off, yes, I did complete the Alita challenge. On March 8th, I went with Angel and 89 to the theaters and we saw Alita. And we both really liked it. I love this movie. I genuinely enjoyed it. And I want to go back to the theaters and see it again. And I do recommend, if you want to see it, go out and see it in the theaters. Give it more box office money. But I also want to talk a little bit more about why I decided to see it. Because it's a lot more than just the Captain Marvel versus Alita thing going on. And it's a lot more than just the boycott Captain Marvel. That certainly had a bit of an influence, but there's a little bit more to it. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. When we first saw pictures of Alita and her big eyes, I made fun of it. I went along with the memes. I joked, and yeah, I thought it looked dumb. Because it looks funny when you first see it. Like, you see that face, you see the eyes, and it looks weird. I mean, it's kind of the point, but yeah, out of context, it's just weird. And I also kind of wrote it off when I found out that, oh, it's an adaptation of a manga. And I'm like, oh, okay, another movie adaptation of a manga. I mean, we saw how well the Ghost in the Shell movie went over. And to be perfectly honest, I have to bring up the Full Metal Alchemist and Bleach live-action movies because those were atrocious. So I wasn't exactly looking forward to that. Because it's like, I've been disappointed by adaptations so much that I just wrote it off. I wrote Alita off. And I'm not going to lie, I completely forgot about it for a while. Even, I completely missed it, when it released, because I didn't even notice. But then something happened. I mean, of course, yes, there was the Captain Marvel drama, because I was a little bit more focused on that. But I started hearing a lot of good things about Alita. I wasn't following it, but a lot of people, like some people I was following online, some people following on YouTube, were talking positively about it. So I was like, wait a minute. This is actually getting some good reception. And it's got a strong positive reception from the audience, not so much from the critics, though we've seen differences in the critics and audience scores before. Last Jedi. Now, that got me interested. But what really got me actually intrigued to go see this was that I was hearing from fans that the movie was a good adaptation. That to me was a big thing. Because I've been in that position. I've been in the fan of something that got an adaptation that's not good. And you sit there going, what the hell is this? And that's kind of what I thought Alita would be, but I was hearing fans say, this is great. It's a faithful adaptation. Like, wait, a faithful adaptation of a manga made in the West? What's going on here? What really sold me, what really got me to say, all right, no, I gotta see this, was I was watching some reviews, and there's this one guy who was a fan of Alita, of the manga, and he was talking about how, his impressions of the movie. And even though he was critical, he was pointing out there were numerous things that he wished they kept in the movie because there are some details here and there, and a few things were changed and moved around just a little bit, obviously to work better as a movie. But he says that it was still good and he still liked it. And if someone was being critical and they liked it as a fan, that to me sold it for me. And then I decided, okay, no, I gotta see Alita now. The whole boycotting Captain Marvel, that was just a bonus for me. That was just icing on the cake. Because if Captain Marvel hadn't even come out, if Captain Marvel wasn't even existing, I still would have gone to see Alita. Because, I'm genuinely interested in this. And the funny thing is that this is one of the few times I've ever gone into a movie almost totally blind. When I went and saw it with Angel, and, I don't even think I'd watched a trailer. I think I'd only seen a couple screenshots. And this is how I love going into a movie, but I just never, I can never manage this. simply because I like to look at stuff and see if I'm going to be interested in it. And there's always going to be some kind of spoilers from the trailers, even if it's just basic stuff. But with Alita, I went in blind. I didn't really have I didn't really have high expectations, because I always keep my expectations low with this sort of thing. Because even if all these people were praising it and that got me intrigued, I'm not going to go in and saying, well, this is going to be a great movie, just because I know better than to go in with high expectations. But wow, I really enjoyed it. Like, it's almost kind of like a bit like Rogue One for me, because when I was going into Rogue One, I really wasn't excited about it, but I had heard some good things, especially from friends who said it was great and that I needed to see it. So when I went and saw it, I'm like, wow, no, I actually really love it. And it's so funny to me to see all these critics just rip it apart. And some of the stuff that they say doesn't even make sense, because some of the people are saying that, oh, you need to have read the manga to understand anything that's going on, and you really don't. They actually do a lot of exposition in the movie to explain things. And to, even basic stuff, like, and they talk about the Hunter Warriors, or they talk, about, Iron City and stuff. And about, cyborgs and stuff. Now, I know what it's like to feel like that. That's what happens when you watch the Full Metal Alchemist and the Bleach live-action movies. And it's so funny, because when people are talking about how the Alita Battle Angel changed a few things up from the manga, it moved a few things around in order to structure it better as a movie, this is exactly what I was saying with the Bleach and the Full Metal Alchemist movies. Because when you're translating, this is a great comparison, because we're talking about, both the same medium to a similar medium. It's manga to movies. When you have all these chapters, you're obviously going to have to pick a select amount of, we can adapt this because we only have time for this. But with the Bleach movie, the Bleach movie especially, because they adapted the entirety of the Soul Society, or not the Soul Society, the Substitute arc, which is like 50-something chapters, into one movie. Well, obviously they cut out like 3/4 of it just to fit into the movie. But this, it's like, okay, no, they apparently just covered the first couple volumes, from what I'm told. I'll have to read the manga in order to properly, like, gauge what exactly they changed. But it's like, no, that's the right approach. Yes, you're going to have to change a few things around. And this is what I had said with the movies. This is what I had suggested with the Full Metal Alchemist and Bleach movies. Yeah, you're going to need to change a few things around. You may have to reorganize the events just to make it flow and fit better as a movie, because it's a different medium. You can't just have a continuous story going along. You're going to have a beginning, middle, and end in that story. And you can do it. You can make that work. But those movies didn't make it work. And Alita apparently does. And this movie is successful in a lot of ways. Not just as a good, and not just as an enjoyable movie, but it genuinely got me interested in the source material. Like, I want to buy the entirety of the, Battle Angel Alita manga. Like, I want to read it. I want to get into that. I want to read past it. I want to read the rest of the story. And apparently I found out that there's more series, and that it's still ongoing to this day. The original series came out in, like, the early to mid-90s. And there's been 2 follow-up series for Alita, and one is the third one is still ongoing to this day, which blows my mind. It's been going on for over 20 years now. But it's like, it got me interested. I'm looking this up. I want to get into it. And that's great, because that's what it should do. That's what these movies should be doing. They should not only be a product in and of themselves and something that is good itself, but also in some ways an advertisement for the source material. That, hey, if you want more, or you want to see where this came from, you say, check out the manga. And this got me interested in that. And I really love that. I love the fact that it's not only a movie that I genuinely enjoyed, but it's something that got me looking into the source material. Now, sometimes that can be a bit of a double-edged sword, because I saw the Aragon movie. And I thought, hey, that was kind of neat. I'll go read the book. And I'm not going to lie, I never finished the book. Because I rage quit. Because I realized the book was so much better. Yeah, all those years later and I never finished the book. But from what I've heard about Alita, from fans, is that it actually is a faithful adaptation. It makes some changes. It makes some structural, changes. And some details don't carry through. But you know what? That's fine. Because it's an adaptation. We understand it. It's like, sure, there are things that I see in the Harry Potter movies. I understand why there are a number of scenes that are cut. Because, well, they don't really need to be there. And so it's like, yeah, I understand. And it's shocking to me to see that this movie, it's a movie that no one really was excited for, but now it's got a lot of excitement around it because of the strong word of mouth. Because people saw it, liked it, and are telling everyone else. Kind of like what I'm doing. I saw it, I liked it, and I'm telling people, go see Alita. Go see it in the theaters if you can. Definitely. I highly recommend this movie. And I definitely, as soon as I can, I want to see it at least one more time before it, leaves the box office. Or before it leaves the theaters, because I want to support this movie as much as I can. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much my Alita story of how I really got into it. And it's so interesting because I've been talking to some people who have been longtime fans and are now getting this influx of new fans because of the movie, and it's so fun talking to people that love this and are glad to have more people coming in and supporting what was such an obscure series to begin with. It's really fun and it's kind of exciting. So, yeah. I'm just going to end it here. Go see Alita. Because I want to go see Alita again. I'm going to buy the DVD and Blu-rays. And I want to support this movie as much as I can. Because I really want it to be successful. So yeah, that's about it. And thank you for watching.